Are you kidding me? That's what?
Yeah, every so often it happens that Ryan is right.
100% right. Not even a little bit right.
Tucker Pullman, 2 points last game.
No kidding.
My man!
Hey, neither does me running shirtless, but that turned out very well.
Welcome to the PP1 podcast.
I'm always so thrown off by that fake fighting scene at the very start because for some reason you look like you're like 5'5".
Yeah,
You're like just a short little gaffer.
Yeah.
But you're significantly taller than I am.
So huge. How's it going? You doing well?
Yeah.
That's great. This is a PP1 podcast. If you guys weren't listening to the intro, sometimes people don't listen. They're just like, let's just skip the 30 seconds on our podcast. If you're watching live, which this isn't exactly live, we're recording because apparently the Vegas Golden Knights won the Stanley Cup. So apparently the main lines are busy. So we'll just do a little podcast.
Good for Vegas.
You know what? They've suffered. They really have.
It's been a slog.
Losing that first year, that's tough. And then barely escaping the clutches of the Canucks in the bubble. I mean, you don't forget stuff like that.
I'm super happy for my buddy Kyle. He's a long, I can say that at least 4 more times, long time Vegas fan.
Like they're from an inception, basically.
Yeah, since the beginning. He's been there since the beginning.
Gave up on Jim Benning and said until they get rid of him. And then they did get rid of Jim Benning. And he stuck with it. And you know what? His loyalty paid off tonight with a colossal 9-3 killing of like that has to be up there for absolute like worst ways to lose in the last game. Probably.
Is it worse to get blown out or to lose a heartbreaker in OT?
That's a good question because I think Canucks fans would know that, right?
Yeah.
Because they lost a close one. 2
of them, really.
Well, I don't know if the most recent one was a close one, but 94 was a close one. And then the blowout probably happened in like 72 or whatever.
Yeah, when it was just the Islanders
they just got squashed. Yeah.
In case you don't know, the bearded man to my stage right, that's Matt Ferguson. We actually just met a week ago on the street. He was offering his wares for, he had a mixtape, some reggae music, and I decided to give a listen. And he's actually a pretty cool guy. So he had this cool hat that said home base. And I said, oh, I know about that tournament. And he's like, I got it. My friends gave it to me.
It was nice to meet someone else who really loves snow as much as I do as a musical artist.
Well, I'm an informer, don't you know?
Leaky boom boom.
Leaky boom boom. Matt, how you doing, buddy?
Wonderful.
That should be your intro. It should be Leaky boom boom, Matt.
Perfect. Yeah, go for it. Long time listener, first time caller. Thanks for having me.
This is unprecedented times. This is, I think, what friends have we had on the show?
So we had Rip.
We did have Rip.
We had.
Does Steve count?
We had Steve. Yeah, Steve was on the show.
Did we have Chris?
Don't think we've had Chris yet.
From the Ballhawks podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think we've done stuff with the Ballhawks, obviously.
Okay. Yeah.
This show.
Yeah.
Nice.
Trying to think. Yeah, and Ferg, we haven't brought many pals on. So
this is
it's good to get Matty in here, especially for the reason we got him in here, which is a pretty cool event that's going on right now.
Yeah, Choclair and Cardinal official rankings of albums and songs and deep cuts. But we might get into that.
Ain't nobody can bang with us.
Before we get into the Matt stuff, so we are part of the Hockey Podcast Network. You can find us there. You can listen to us there. We're also partners with DraftKings. I made a custom DraftKings little promo thing at the bottom there. Sign up for the DraftKings Sportsbook app. THPN is a promo code, and some magical things are going to happen for you. We'll get to that a little bit later in the sponsored ad read. But like I said, the Stanley Cup has been awarded. I don't even know who is the Conn Smythe. I'm sure one of you guys has a TV on, possibly. But before we get into the home base stuff, so you guys have seen like Columbus has been making some trades and some signings. We got Damon Severson, so he's no longer on the Canucks list, which Ted is super excited about. But you saw the trade for it was Provorov, right? That was like 2 weeks ago, I think. And I was just thinking, like, when Jarmo Kekalainen is making these, maybe he's doing some of these trades via like email. He goes, "Yeah, we'd like to trade for Provorov," and then he signs all his emails JK. So then they get them back on the other side. I'm like, is he kidding? Is this a joke? So like email back, yeah, it's totally serious, JK. Okay, man, I'm gonna get on the phone because like it's like when we have our conversations, Ted will like call me or Matt will call me like, okay, what did you actually mean? Because you keep putting JK. Like, are you kidding? No, this is totally serious. So I'm wondering if all of these deals, like because it's kind of got to be a bit of a joke because he has to, when he's so official, he's signing his emails, right?
It's crazy to me the flack that I get from you specifically about dad jokes, and then you deliver that.
It's gold, though. You got to admit.
A classic Jarmo Kekalainen JK dad joke.
Yeah, the delivery on that was.
I'll give you that one 100%.
That was pretty good. I mean, if we
it was fine. I'm just surprised at the amount of flack that I get.
You don't get any flack. Give me a
From
break.
You give me so much flack.
I give you like 10%
flack.
Name one. Name a moment. You can't.
Like anyone that I've dropped on this show.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, you're probably right.
I have a JK joke.
Go for it.
Maybe not.
Doesn't
I have
even
to
know
remember
it.
how it works. How does Harry Potter get down a hill?
This is funny because we were just talking about Harry Potter, but I'm gonna.
He walks. JK rolling.
Nice.
See, Maddie and I were just talking about Harry Potter prior to the show, prior to your arrival on this. By the way, we should probably let everybody know too. I've made an executive decision. Ted is going to be a permanent guest on the show, almost a co-host, if you will.
Congratulations,
Matt. What do you think about that?
I think it's a solid move.
Yeah, I know we were kind of talking about it, but I think it's time. I think it's time we make Ted a permanent guest on the show.
Okay, well, I'll get back to you.
Oh, wow! I didn't know there was even an option at the end of that. That's interesting. That's interesting. We're all wearing baseball hats today. You're probably wondering why. We kind of gave you a little teaser before. Matthew Ferguson works for a company that we all know and support, Okanagan Lifestyle, OKGN for short.
Local spot downtown, right by the Dolphins. I mean, it's across the street and down the hall a little bit. The cools.
Sorry, can I interrupt and say that the Dolphins is the worst statue in the history of time because there's no dolphins in the lake. They could have done kokanee. They could have done trout. They could have done salamanders. They chose.
You
dolphins.
know what? I'm going to give you that because the funny thing is, it's not even that was the only one. Remember the piano black ones they had inside the hotel?
Are they not there anymore?
Let's double down on this idea. They're not there. No.
Well, this whole town's pretty weird. I mean, look at the Rockets.
Oh, that's a story.
The Rockets. There's no Rockets here. The logo is
Ogopogo.
supposedly an Ogopogo, but it looks more like a dragon. Their mascot's a raccoon.
Yeah.
It's all very confusing. And then there's sails outside the arena. Or dolphins outside the arena.
Dolphins outside. Yeah, it doesn't check out. I mean, what could they have put? What would your guys' ideas be if we were to remove the dolphins and put a new sculpture there in that pond?
Doesn't it have to be like a grizzly bear? Like, isn't that like?
But they have
the name Kelowna named Grizzly.
Yeah. I think they could do 3 white sunglasses stacked on top of each other.
And it would be a white statue, obviously.
Like white sunglasses attached to
monument.
like a like Louis Vuitton or Gucci fanny pack.
Exactly.
Yeah. And like a Merce wallet.
Yeah, it'd have to be a white statue too, and sponsored by Earl's.
That's Earl's on top to you, Ryan.
That's true. That's yeah. Well, that's right. Sorry, folks. That's. I like the bear maybe catching like a salmon or something in his mouth.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah. So let's rip it down and let's get it fixed. Matt, you're here to talk about a great a great cause, a great tournament, which we've been a part of previously as well. And I realize I missed the memo, and I'm the only one not wearing a floral or Hawaiian shirt, but I have Mickey Mouse, so that should count for something.
Or a home base hat. It looks like
Or home base hat. That's fine. It's not like anyone bothered to try to give me one. So, did you buy yours, Ted? I don't think so. Yeah, that's what I thought. Thanks a lot, Matt. Appreciate it. Did you, or from your photo? Maybe you got it from the photo shoot from last year.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
we got to upload those.
That's the maroon beaver.
We got to upload those for this network because I think those are being underplayed. Matt, floor is yours. Let's talk about some home base. Fire away.
Yeah, sure. So home base started in 2018. It's the baseball tournament with the namesake of Josh Georges and Blake Como in support of KGH Foundation, so Kelowna General Hospital. The first couple of years were the funds were directed to Joanna's house, which more or less is a Ronald McDonald style house downtown Kelowna, right by the hospital. So families are able to stay at a reasonable rate when they have members in the hospital for any sort of ailment. Obviously, pandemic kind of shifted things, just not being able to get people together. But last year, they decided to go with the mental health unit at KGH as Joanna's house was built at that point. So that was the focus for last year, and it's the same this year. So $242,000 was raised last go around. Okanagan Lifestyle has been part of it since day one. We've done the design and creation of all the jerseys and the hats. Certain years we've had a capsule collection. All proceeds from that retail sales were donated to KGH, and this year we've more or less doubled our output of what we've ordered so that we can hopefully hammer in a super big donation to those guys. So
try to hit a home run, if you will.
Hit a home run, yes. Yeah, so that's kind of the gist of the tournament. It is the charity game is next week, Friday, so that's June 23rd.
Right.
It's the All-Star game, and then on the Saturday is a actual ball tournament. So teams are able to register from wherever they want to be. I believe there's 14 teams in. This year, you guys know it was super fun last year. So
yeah, we didn't win last year, and I've got a bone to pick with some of the competition. I feel we were robbed of at least a game. There was definitely one. I think we lost to accountants on the final one, and we were running our mouths pretty heavy, and they ended up beating us. And that probably would have got us into the playoffs had we won that game. Yeah. We'd have gone 1 and 2.
Yeah, there's actually a Vancouver team that comes up just because they want to beat the NHL team. Like they're almost like a traveling softball team. It's pretty cool.
They're like the Savannah Bananas?
Yeah, yes, but less banana-y.
Yeah, that's fair.
So,
that's fair.
Tell us a little bit about capsule collection, and then I obviously know there's an event going on coming up this week, which is the home opener. So there's a way that people can get involved in that and come and check it out and find like an affordable way to donate to the cause, but also come away with something that's kind of cool.
Yeah, so we have a few different styles of hats. So we got these ones and a gray version that's going to be player hats. A few different styles of t-shirt and kind of more of a ball cap style hat, a dad hat, you might call it, as well as some youth stuff.
Do you have to be a dad to buy one?
No, you just have to at one point in your life or before your life had a dad.
Okay. I mean, that seems like easy enough. Could be a touchy subject. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it could be anything, I guess. Now, I suppose I should step back on that one.
Way to get us canceled, and we're not even live.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, so on Friday we're releasing it, all the gear. It's going to be at the Okanagan Lifestyle headquarters downtown by the Dolphins statue and Sprout Bakery.
I'm going to try to...
Is the gear on the site, Matt?
Gear's not on the site yet. No, we don't have it on there.
I'm going to see if we can make this.
Yeah, there you go. Nice.
There we go.
Look at that.
Yeah,
Keep it going, Ted. Keep it going.
Little snapshot from last year. Yeah, so
hey, that's you. Wait, go back. Look at that beard. It's coming in nicely.
Yeah, I just actually trimmed it because I'm going to a gala tomorrow.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, so 3 to 5 p.m. on Friday.
Okay.
We are going to have Josh Georges and Jordan Tutu. We're working on trying to get some more talent as well, but they're going to be in the shop doing autographs and meet and greets.
Nice.
Essentially, you come down, either bring a donation to get access to the guys, or you purchase one of the capsule collection items. All proceeds go to KGH Foundation from that. So we're also going to have new beer we just launched with BNA, our homies.
So we're gonna just hold up. There we go. Now we got full screen for you.
Okay, where should I start again?
You could show us the beer. Yeah, I'll do that.
We're also launching our peach ale that we've done every year with the BNA buddies. We actually just went in and canned it today, which was pretty fun.
Do you have an extra case that you might be willing to help us out with?
I have parts of an extra case. Yes, absolutely.
That seems like a fair enough thing to do.
I think so. Yes, we're going to have that pouring. We're going to have Mother Love Kombucha pouring for anybody who's not drinking alcohol, and just kind of have hangouts. And that's really the kickoff for the capsule collection and our biggest fundraising effort from our team. So, yeah, really stoked.
How did the capsule collection do last year?
We actually didn't do it last year because of last year was the first year back after COVID. So we weren't sure. The tournament kind of came together last minute, which is pretty remarkable to think $250,000 was still raised after.
That's wild.
A big hiatus. So we're really hoping to smash that number out this year.
What do you got there?
I got the canning of the beer here. You should check it out.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Can we?
That's me right there.
That's me in the corner. There we go.
So yeah, good stuff. And it's really good beer too. So this is a collab you guys do with BNA every year then.
Yeah, I think this is year 5. I think there was again a 1-year pause with COVID, but it's always been a light drinking summer type ale. And it traditionally has been kind of like the wasted ugly fruit that doesn't really get used in grocery stores. So it's kind of got a cool story and perfect baseball beer. You can have a couple of them and enjoy your baseballing.
Will they be in the dugout possibly?
Depends if Mission Sports Field is going to carry it.
Never mind. I apologize. There are rules.
There are rules.
Now,
but it is going to be available during the charity game on Friday next week. So
we're going to launch this likely later tonight, which is a Tuesday or Wednesday. Are there still teams available to sign up for the tournament, or is that all? There's 2 teams left.
I think last I looked, there was still 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll make sure that you guys, if you're in Kelowna and you want to support a good cause, you got a few extra bucks and a few buddies that want to play some ball for a day. It is a fun time. Last year, I remember it being super sunny. We all had some pretty sweet outfits. You guys are going to probably be looking less exciting this year as you're both on the Okanagan team, as I will be on the Players' Choice team. So you're likely going to look like schleps while we look like all-stars. I will be talking with Jason and Katie about that. I just imagine that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So
sorry, we'll have to maybe leave our custom-made jerseys aside because we won't be able to compete with you.
Oh, okay. That's fair. I'll bring my tacos jersey. It'll be fine.
Okay, perfect.
So bucket hats are obviously optional and encouraged.
Correct.
But it's a pretty cool tournament. It's actually caught some steam since it began. It was a really neat idea when it started. And I think embracing obviously the fact that, Josh Georges and Blake Como kind of headed it up, and they've got some decent connections in Kelowna, let alone the Okanagan. So Matt, maybe let everybody know some of the players that are going to see at the charity game or the celebrity game, as well as who's going to be swinging some bats on the Saturday.
Yeah, so charity team members are Josh Georges, Carey Price, Brendan Gallagher, Jordan Tutu, Wade Redden, Renee Bork. Ethan Bear was supposed to, but he's going in for surgery. Who else we got? Edmondson, Franson, Bauk, Como, Weber, Mike Smith, Luke Shen, Todd Simpson, Severson, Myers, Duncan Keith. Kind of a lot of your like Okanagan summer dudes you do see around here.
Bunch of X-Rockets in there. Yeah,
a lot of X-Rockets in there. So there's always a couple changes right at the end too. They're pretty flexible and bringing in a couple other dudes in. So it's pretty pretty rad event. It's fun to be able to go out there and actually play against those guys, because those are two teams, a co-ed teams, of course. For slow pitch, so a lot of the players' wives are coming out and playing, and it's kind of a fun.
And they're good.
Vocation from they are generally
they beat
excellent.
us.
Yeah.
The wives team, they beat us pretty good.
Yeah,
last year.
the Maggie,
Turns out
Maggie
they're
George's
just
team.
yeah, they're just good sportsers.
Yeah, super good sportsers.
Wasn't fun at the end when we
Pretty
knew
good at
we were losing.
baseballing.
Yeah.
What if people aren't going to be in town, but still want to support the cause? Is there a way they can donate online?
Yeah, absolutely. If you go on KGH Foundation's website, they have a donate. They also have an event page that you can buy 50-50 tickets for if you want to have a chance of winning something, or there's just a regular donation page. I don't know if it helps you guys, but I can shoot you over the trellis link for that.
I'm looking at it right now. Actually, I'm gonna see if I can do what Ted does. How do you do that, Ted? How do you share?
Why are you asking me like you don't know what you're doing?
Man, I don't know. I don't think I've. Oh, present. Here we go.
8-bit Griffey.
Man, this is tough. Share screen. I feel like a little kid again. Here we go. So you guys can see this. So we're looking. I'm sharing. So here's where you can register your team, get tickets, donate. See that little button? You can click donate. I'm assuming everyone can see this.
Yeah.
Assuming my internet works as
We'll post the link after. We'll make sure that we attach it to all the feeds and make it available to everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
There we go. Look, you can donate $1,000 monthly or even one time.
Exactly.
So
there you go.
You've got options. There's another way that you can help make a donation, if you will. So on the celebrity game, there is a signing after that, correct?
There's actually signing before then. Yeah. So you come in. I think it's $30. There will be a lineup, and there's a limited time frame. It's an hour.
Yeah, I think you can reserve your spot too, right? There's a reservation key that's available on the site. Did I see that correctly? Could be wrong.
They kind of tapped in. They capped into Genie Plus from Disneyland. Like, sign up early, get your spot. So basically, what that is all the players that are in that game, the celebrity game, all the hockey players. You can spend the $30, and I think there's an autograph sheet basically of all the players on it. Or I think you're allowed to bring one item. Is that correct? Like of your own, or something else, and get that signed. It every single you'll see it on Instagram and Facebook and everything. It is.
If you just go here, you can reserve a spot. It looks like.
Yeah, like it's a gong show because everybody is hyped up on this, and it's just super cool. So you get to go in, you get to meet all the guys, get something signed for your personal collection, or get signed the whole thing. I think it's like a carded sheet, if you will, like a print. And you can. There you go. So there's kind of the lineup there. Pretty awesome lineup. There's lots of cool stories. There's people that there's some pretty big names in there. Obviously, there's a little bit of everything, but there's a lot of NHLers that do live in the Okanagan during the summer. So, if you're, a Carey Price fan, obviously there's a lot of Habs fans out there. Josh Georges obviously has been a big deal around here. All these guys have been names in the NHL, and they just happen to call Kelowna home, or they're from here. Just super awesome that we get an opportunity to be a part of this, that there's even a place to host something like this. And I mean, I don't see any other cities getting something that is this cool. And I mean, what's the one thing Kelowna thrives on? It's definitely slow pitch in the summertime. We like ourselves some fun, mean nothing baseball, and the tournament itself is a lot of fun. And even if you go in 3 like we did last year, it's still a pretty good time. Again, the Friday night game obviously is a ton of fun to watch that if you've got an opportunity to go and watch that. Is that down at Elks, or do they have that at King Stadium?
The Elks?
Is it still Elks?
Yeah, can't say enough just how much we got to play in it last year. Ryan, you and I, Matt, obviously you were playing for the OKGN team. But it's just a really great atmosphere. I mean, you're just walking around, all the teams are talking to one another, and the players are sort of in and amongst, just regular everyday people just walking around doing their thing. So it kind of has that sort of tournament vibe to it that you wouldn't expect from a sort of a fundraiser set together like this, but
Yeah.
it's got the tournament vibe, but it also has like a bit of that sort of like feel good party feeling to it as well. And the sun is always out, and it's just a fantastic time. So yeah, looking forward to spending the day at the park. Sorry you didn't get the call up, Ryan.
That's
but
fine.
obviously you'll be
I know
there
where our
too,
friendship
so maybe we'll
stands. That's
play
fine.
against each other. Who knows? That'll be
Oh, we
weird.
will, and we'll beat you for sure. we got a ringer. I heard we're bringing in Vernon Wells. That was
Yeah, I
the
heard
rumor
that
last
last
year.
year, too.
Oh, V-Dub, there you go.
I think another thing too, like Ted, you brought up a good point about the fun and the atmosphere. So playing in that tournament and just kind of seeing the goings on during the day, like there was a lot of funny things, like watching, and cool stuff, like watching Brendan Gallagher run the bases. He's like an absolute train. Like
It's an animal.
Like just watching those legs, like, wow, that isn't like, even us, are grown men, like we're geeking out. Like I would love to have an athletic body like that. Like my dad bod will, Ted, you're pretty close. So it's kind of, maybe you don't think that. But then seeing like, I remember last year, like Carey Price shows up. He went and got pizzas for like all the NHLers, and everyone's just grabbing slices, and he's just standing there with like empty boxes, like, oh, what about me? And he's just kind of standing there. I'm like, these are like, these are NHL All-Stars. These are guys that have, played in the playoffs, Stanley Cup, all this, and he's there. He's just like, he's that guy in the group kind of thing. And I think it's so funny that, we watch them on the ice, and these are these heralded guys, and, some of them potentially Hall of Fame careers, and some of them are reserved to Pizza Boy, which I think is just super funny. Like it brings it to that realistic moment. Like, yep, you're the guy in the group, basically.
Yeah, you still gotta get pizza for your kids, kind of people, just like everybody else.
Exactly. It's super cool.
The only guy who maybe looks more intense running to first base is probably Andrew.
Yes, he just got a sweet mullet.
It's
perfect.
perfect.
Their playoffs start tomorrow. The Kelowna Raiders lacrosse team. He's the Capitan, and yeah, his mullet is extraordinarily handsome.
I don't know.
He was handsome before he was. I guess it wasn't a mullet. He was just growing his hair out. But yeah, it was looking good.
Does he have lightning bolts on the side?
No, pretty well. No, but it's beautiful.
That's too fast. You don't want any unfair advantages.
Yeah, that's
so. Matt, is there any other stuff we need to know about the tournament? We talked about this Friday, the home opener. There's the charity game or the celebrity game next Friday. Obviously, the tournament next Saturday. What are we missing? We talked about donating.
Only thing missing, I guess, is tomorrow night's the big gala dinner. So a lot of the actual fundraising happens tomorrow. It's an invite only. Committee members and folks in town who are able to put forward larger donations on auction items or whatnot. NHL players are going to be there. Prospera is actually hosting it, which is kind of cool. They're putting carpet down on the ice, center ice, and that's where it's going to be. So I'm going to be there. I've never been to a gala before, so I'm going to iron a dress shirt out. It's Okanagan.
You can borrow my collared shirt that I'm wearing right now if you want.
Okanagan Winery Dinner Vibes is this dress attire. So that seems like a great mix of formal and non-formal.
Don't forget your white sunglasses.
Yeah, I won't. I'll come grab them from you. Yeah, that's it. I guess for me, it's a lot of it is this.
Slide the extra burn in there.
It wouldn't be a show without it.
It wouldn't be. Yeah, Friday's kind of our big involvement. It's been my project for the last few months. So anybody who's got some time between 3 and 5 who can come down, pick something up from the capsule collection, or just come and check it out. We love for people to come shopping with us, but mostly we want people to come and hang out and realize it's a safe place and just a good place to come hang out with your friends.
Yeah, it's a good time at OKGN. I mean, you can have lunch there. You can even bring lunch there if you want, and for others, sometimes you bring lunch for people.
You can get bailed on your lunch after 12 minutes.
Yeah. It's sometimes even you can meet up with your best friends for almost lunch, which is always a good time.
Hey, there's so many good spots around there. You got like Chica Chica.
That was literally the place.
Right
yeah,
down there. Yeah, you got like Sprouts right next door. There's thing you bring it back and have a place to eat. There's it looks like there's like a little kind of like extra room to hang out in. Plus there's the basketball net outside and stuff. It's a really cool spot, and I think it's not even just that. It's the fact that it's kind of built for everyone, right? You can bring your family down. There's stuff for the kids to do. There's little play areas. It's just it's kind of like a home spot, right? It's cool.
Yeah, Jacqueline will word it a lot better than I do, but on the surface level, the company sells retail, apparel and accessories, but deeper down, it's that kind of community hub and that vehicle to make positive moves. So
Would you shave your beard if your team won?
No.
Okay. Just figured I'd get that out.
I don't know if it's my imagination because my beard sticks out now, or if it's because we're all like always kind of like this looking at our screens, but my chin just went. Like I had a regular jawline, nothing extremely great, but I shaved last time, I don't know, a year or so ago. And the kids were like, "Where'd your chin go? It's so small." And
You did have a small chin, though, if I remember correctly.
I don't know. It's always been accentuated with that chin strap.
The
probably.
chin strap and the ice.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And the ice was there too.
There was ice. I rock ice.
We were just talking about you today at work and talking about Matt Ferguson
with Sherry,
like,
my best buddy Sherry.
Yeah, and she's like,
Shout out to Sherry.
Shout out to Sherry. She's like, yeah. So do you guys know each other through like the baseball and stuff? I said, no. And I began to tell the heralded story about Matt Ferguson getting hired at Jersey City and how I believe there was zero chance he should be working for that company because he did not look the part of employed.
Because he was better than all of us.
He ended up being a phenomenal hire and a good friend. That's great, Matt. I appreciate you being able to come on. This has been something we've been trying to plan for a bit. I don't know if we'll be able to connect at all for the home opener at all. I mean, we all have busy schedules too. This next couple weeks, school's ending for all of our kids, as well as I think a little bit of playoffs for our extracurriculars. So we'll see how that all goes. But it would be a lot of fun if we can make something. Oh, just a second. Just a sec. Oh my goodness, folks! If you want to see vintage Matt Ferguson, oh man, I forgot what that would have been.
No ice though; those are hoops.
Yeah, those are hoops. I wore those down to Mexico for our honeymoon, and I got hit by a wave and knocked him out, and that was the end of my earring wearing. It was lasted about 6 months, I think, total.
Is that in Vancouver? Was that your trip with me? Oh no, you were going to the island there.
I don't know, but I know I bought that Adidas tracksuit from Foot Locker downtown Vancouver on Robson Street, which is now, I don't even know if it exists anymore. Last time I walked by it, the windows were shattered in. It was dope.
So
10 out of 10 dope.
Matt can't. Oh, okay. Well, we've got a couple more because this is what we do: is embarrass people. Wow.
Okay, I think you got to take that back on the jawline, Ryan. I don't know.
Yeah, there's no chin strap there.
Here, let's just a second. Let's get rid of. There we go. Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What happened?
That's a stripe on stripe power clash right there.
Yeah, what happened there? You let
Jack
yourself go.
Donaghy power clash.
Wow, man! I tell you.
Caring.
So that's true. I think we're all at that point.
Yeah.
We're all at that point.
Game
so we brought you on to talk about baseball, about a baseball tournament and some charity connections to this baseball tournament. But this is a hockey show.
Mm-hmm.
We did talk about the Stanley Cup. We talked about my amazing joke about Jarmo Kekalainen, which I cannot spell. You're an avid goaltender and a follower of goaltending, of the goaltend. And I was wondering, like, based on your vast knowledge of the goaltending position, what would you say are like the three best saves a goalie can make?
The double pad stack glove save particularly on a 2-on-1 or 2-on-0, of course. There's nothing even close to that.
Would you be referring to the K-Tel Patty Stacker?
Yes, K-Tel Patty, of course.
Okay.
Yes.
Just checking.
Yeah, that's the off-brand version. Number 2.
Shout out Don Taylor.
Number 2 is also a glove save. You're caught flat-footed and you're reacting completely, and you stick that arm out. It's not the big swoop. It's just the arm out, and you kind of drop back on your butt after.
I know the one. Yeah.
You know that Marty Brodeur style.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's on his heels all the time.
Yeah.
And then 3, as a goalie, no non-goalie will say this, but you got traffic in front of the net. You got the big, heavy boomer slapper coming in from the D-man. And at the last second you see it, you stick out your stick side pad.
Yeah.
So for me, the right, which I always had a harder time kicking my right leg out than my left. and it's that thump. You know, that thump of a pad that you
The
can
Cooper
hear from
pad.
outside. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chances are pretty good it's a horrific
The sound.
rebound and it goes in after.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Thanks for that tip.
Yeah, but it's just a satisfying, underrated save, and it's beautiful.
What's your
What
take
about-
on reverse VH?
I'll tell you what, I
He's more of an HP sauce kind of guy.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
What about the Vasilevsky? So pass comes from like high slot, and it's going back towards your blocker side. You're facing to the left, and now you have to go back, and you stick the glove out backwards to make the save.
Yeah, that's in a specific instance of a save. It's the dominator poke check rollover kind of
Slinky
thing. But
spine.
there's so much more luck involved in that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a skill move, obviously,
What
but
about the Malarchuk? Come on. Still too soon? Always too soon. Jeez.
yeah, no, anything Vasilevsky does lives on that list, basically.
Now, as a
Like-
minor athlete, Kelowna minor hockey,
Yeah.
have you ever scored a goal as a goaltender?
No. I only had one great hockey achievement, and that was winning bronze medal at the BC Winter Games
Oh, nice.
against Team North, and the opposing goaltender was none other than the aforementioned Carey Price. So
No
I
kidding.
don't know what he's done other than play softball after that, but I'll
So
tell
do
you
you
what.
think had you so wait, you won bronze, so
he lost. He came fourth.
wow, he really took that personally, didn't
He
he?
did. He probably did. Now I'll tell you something else that happened in that game. We
He's
were
from
winning-
Anaheim, right?
Yeah, Anaheim Mighty Ducks.
Anaheim Mighty Duck Lake.
Exactly, and we were close to his world. We were in where the heck were we? Williams Lake,
Williams Lake, yeah.
The
Bill's
puddle.
Puddle, Bill's Puddle,
Yeah.
as they say. So
Yeah,
we're up 3-1, and there's like 10 minutes left in the third period, and dude just hammers a slapper from his own blue line, and it was a little bit of a knuckler, and I was playing it too casually and dipped right under my glove at the last.
Oh, you Kluche.
Second. So I had there were a full stands full of scouts, and even though we won, I let a dump in, and that was pretty rough.
Would you say on your career highlight reel? Now this is maybe a low light. When I went Burrow's leg kick and scored on you in a shootout in a mean nothing game, but still, does that still haunt you?
Did you leg kick or did you slip though?
No, I leg kick. I meant to do that. It looked like I was falling, but I did mean to do it.
I just
My
saw because
balance
the
was
banana
not
peel
good.
was there, and
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, no, there's I'm gonna take the high road on this because there was a post game interview that happened that I probably won't mention on this one.
It's
That made it all
Yeah.
worth.
it got mentioned once, and I made him edit it out.
yeah.
we
That's
should- I don't-
that's one we're not allowed to necessarily say in public.
My mom is not of the same generation as we are. I'll just put it that way.
It wasn't correct, if you
No.
will.
It wasn't, but
And yet
it's not,
every
I
time
don't
it
know
gets
if it was
told,
that far.
every time it gets told, it brings someone to tears and laughter. So
Yes, it sure does.
locked me into a job. It was kind of nice. Nothing like so we got in the goaltending. I'm glad
I
we
have
talked
a
about-
goaltending question.
Oh, go
Because
for
like
it.
Matt and I have had this conversation many times. Greatest goaltender of all time, Marty Brodeur.
Mike Richter.
I don't think that it's changed in the last 5 years since we've had this conversation, but Vasilevsky has entered the conversation, I think, since the last time we've had this talk. And
You don't
his
think
career
Patrick
is
Waugh?
his career is far from over. This is like you saying Mario is better than Gretzky, Ryan. Where do you think he ends up on this list? And if you had a top three, what does it look like?
I think he's probably top 7. I don't know if I could really replace. Well, I don't know. Somewhere in 5 to 8, I would put him.
Currently,
It's currently. What do you mean? Like if he was to
I don't
end
know.
his career
where
right
is
now?
he currently, and like where do you
Yeah,
think
What
he
kind of
ends
question
up?
is this, Ted? Be
Somewhere
specific.
in the top 5 to 8 range all time, I think.
So who's won?
To me, it's Brodeur. It should probably actually be Hasek. I think
Yeah.
he revolutionized. He won the Vezinas. He didn't win the medals and the cups though, which is
League
you know.
MVP.
Yeah.
No, he got a gold with
Did he
check.
get a league
Did he get
MVP?
gold check? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
a
he
tough
did.
one. That's 1A, 1B. Then Waz
Dixon
3.
Ward told us that story.
I mean, there's some dudes back, those Drydens, the Sawchucks that we never actually got to see that are
Right.
hard to say, but
I think it's almost like universally felt sometimes when you have these conversations. It's like the modern era of goaltending, right?
Mhm.
But Dryden's name definitely gets brought up, and then obviously you have the.
So I'm gonna bring this up to you because you guys are crapping all over me, mostly Ted here. Why do you think Brodeur is that much better than Patrick Waugh? Patrick Waugh's got the numbers too. He's got the Stanley Cups to back it up. He's got, I don't know, like won it as a rookie. Basically, his equipment obviously was a nice little addition for a good chunk of his career. But it's such a debate because it's not like I'm saying Brodeur is awful. The guy was an absolute legend. But if you're going to go between those two, like why wouldn't you say Patrick Waugh over Brodeur?
I think that the loaded Avalanche teams probably lessened his impact, at least in Colorado. Like Brodeur had good teams, he had good defensive teams, but
Sure.
we're talking about Patrick Eliash, who is awesome, but that's your best weapon offensively. He played a style that was different than everybody, and I always, maybe it's my personal bias, but I always found those games where you had like 17 shots against so much more difficult to keep focused than when you had 35.
Yeah.
Brodeur got shutout after shutout, and part of that's the defensive scheme they played in, but you got to be focused the whole game. He looked cool.
He did.
He had the raddest gear.
The heat and setup.
And his stick handling ability is undefeated still. So that's why I put him there.
Okay,
it's just
I'll give you that.
Personal preference.
I thank you
there's
that
not
you
much
made
separation between those three.
Yeah, I thank you that you made that comment because I don't think I would have accepted that from Ted. So
thank you. Appreciate that. As the second guest on the show.
Yeah.
So in the current day of goaltending, we just watched Aiden Hill win a Stanley Cup. What was he like? Vegas's fourth goalie or something like that.
Which is
like
so
it
Vegas.
seems like teams are generally moving towards somewhat minimizing the goaltending position based on an abundance of players who can play versus the Luongo factor where it was like one
Force.
guy that was going to sort of run the whole table and play 60 games in a year.
Yeah.
Without having to have your goalie union card revoked. Do you think that the game needs franchise goaltenders anymore, or do you think that it's like a committee thing, almost like college quarterbacks versus starting quarterbacks in the NFL, or do you think that this is where we are right now and it will revert back to normal?
Yeah, I think it's like the running back by committee. I hate it. I love the Adrian Petersons. I love the Luongos. I love the Carey Prices who can carry it the whole time. But if you win games, who cares? Like it's that money ball kind of theory has reached every sport where you figure out ways to win games instead of worrying about the ego of that one player. So I don't like it, but I think it's good here to stay and it's smart.
I kind of think, it's like any other position, right? You're still going to have guys that are going to be absolute, like they're going to come every now and then. You're going to have stud goaltenders that you can't not draft or you can't not trade for or develop or whatever. Like you would be hard pressed to, do anything different. Like if you had an opportunity to have, we bring this up, but it was a pretty good example, like a Schneider and Luongo. I mean, if you could have a goaltending tandem like that every single year and fit it under the cap, why wouldn't you?
Like, if really, you can, and that's your system, and everybody knows that.
Right, exactly. It's a culture shock to, and we've talked about this a few times, like it's gone from having the one guy that plays the entire season or 78 games and the backup is, you're talking about it like, oh, we got to see the backup play tonight. And now it's just kind of by committee and you're getting a guy that, you're going to get at one start a week, or if there's back-to-backs, you for sure see. And I guess that's the other thing too, is the schedule changes too, right? So now you get more teams, you're having to fit it in to a tighter schedule. So you're seeing more games played in a shorter amount of time. You have to have you have to have a second guy or a third guy, or know that you're going to be bringing guys up from the farm. Or like Vegas, was it their first year they had 5 goaltenders?
Yeah, I think it was something like that. Yeah, I think it was
Yeah, I mean that's totally against the grain. That's not going to happen every year, but they managed, and I mean, perfect storm. They managed to make that work, but there's no way you could roll through 5 goaltenders in a year and expect that that's going to work for every franchise. Like, you'd get embarrassed probably a good chunk of the time.
What do you think? What do you think caused this change in goaltending? Is it just the fact, like, I know, so when we used to go play, beer league puck or something like that, it was, you were sort of just relying on like a little bit of athleticism, and then somebody taught you butterfly down the road. But then when you go now, and any guy that's under the age of like 25 shows up in goal, they just look like robots, and they're all so good. Do you think that the game itself has changed in the way that they train goaltenders? Or because obviously the Vasilevskis of the world still exist, and have they developed and changed the way that teams look at using goaltenders, or have goaltenders just changed the way they trained, and it's just about being smart versus just having this raw athletic ability?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't hurt that every goalie's 6'3" now too, right? So they got the size. They figured out some things like if you're in a butterfly position, yeah, you're down and your top corners are open, but your whole body is living within the net, right? Where in my day, in our day, if you were down all the time, that didn't make sense, except that when you stand, 40% of your body is sitting over top of the crossbar. Not protecting nets, right? It's just that some of that logic that came in, I think it's probably that kind of what the heck are the nomics called?
Ergonomics.
Ergonomics. Yeah, the sports ergonomics. You know what I'm talking about. What the hell is that stuff? No, it's the Moneyball shit that they do after.
Sabermetrics.
Sabermetrics. That's what
it is. I was way off.
Yeah,
I was waiting for you. That was
started
the James Rayburn thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the analytics and understanding that you want to win games, not have a burnt out goalie. Plus, I think the mental strain on goalies for a lot of those guys, playing 70 games a year is too much.
It blows your mind to think that used to happen all the time, and now you think like, why would you do that? Why would you burn a guy out? But it's a different sport back then too.
Yeah, it's different mentality. Think of Roy Halladay. He'd pitch 8 innings a game every game. And
Nolan Ryan, same thing.
Yeah, now it's absurd to think a pitcher, even if a pitcher's got a no-hitter, they barely keep them in for 8 innings.
A complete game is like, put it up in the loop.
Yeah, I think it's just probably smarter. I hate it, but it's smarter.
One more goalie question. So obviously we saw like the sort of like baton be passed from Watt to Brodeur, and then Brodeur to Luongo, and Luongo to Price. And
what about
I think
Curtis
where
Joseph?
I'm going for this, but who's the next sort of great Canadian goaltender to carry the torch?
I'm not sure.
Or is there one?
I don't think there's anybody right now. And I don't know if I'm sure another one of those dudes will jump out, but I think they're just going to continue with this by committee.
And will he be French?
Probably.
Okay.
There's an 80% chance of that happening.
I would say the numbers are
history would suggest yes
in their favor.
Yeah. He played in the queue.
Yeah. How much longer does Francois Laird plan on coaching? I guess.
Exactly.
And there's a good crop of goalie coaches, I guess. Hey, so if one day Ian Clark decides to peace out of Vancouver and heads down, because you can be a coach for pretty much ever, and he pieces out and goes to Carolina or LA, or it doesn't take much to raise the next group, right? So
if Patrick Waugh is a goalie and also a head coach, does that make him a goalie coach?
I believe so.
Okay.
I believe you're combining two things together.
Yeah, I agree.
Just not a goalie coach, but is
not a goalie, but a goalie coach. Yeah, that checks out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or
Matt,
coach goalie. It's backwards like most French language.
Le coach goalie.
Yeah. Goalie.
This has been a lot of fun. I know we've talked about goaltending, and I do want to finish on a high note, and this is mostly at your request.
Goaltending's a low note?
It is a low note compared to how we're gonna no one cares about goaltenders, right?
No,
just kidding.
They're weirdos.
Felix Potvin.
Bunch of farm cats.
Yeah, exactly.
We're getting into the summer.
Yeah.
We're basically here. Summer's basically here. This is what Kelowna. This is what we live for. This is our. We're gonna run this town. We're gonna
Hawaiian
own
shirt
it.
time.
It's Hawaiian shirt time. I'm gonna have to bust out. I mean, Mickey Mouse. This is electric, like that Katy Perry song. Let's talk. Speaking of Katy Perry, we'll chat a little bit. Greatest Canadian rappers of the 20th century.
Yeah, it's Rascals from Vancouver. That's number one. That's not even
absolutely.
close.
The Northern Touch. Is that song? Does it get enough credit?
No,
Even now, I don't think so.
no, absolutely not. And it probably would had they not boycotted the Junos that year. But
Can you imagine?
That's their move.
Yeah, it was like that was a crazy thing when Rascals dropped and they had cred,
Yeah,
right?
they were dope. Rascals are dope. Cardinals are dope. Chaos is dope.
Classified.
Classified's playing here in June, I think, at Redbird.
Was Shocklair Canadian? I can't remember.
But
Yeah, Shocklair is cool.
Kanan.
Kanan's good, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, his first album, we listened to a ton of that.
Snow.
Snow, obviously. Sean Desmond, another great Canadian rapper.
Do we count Drake?
No, Drake sucks.
We also have like the Swollen Members stuff, right? Like
Swollen
Mad
Members are cool.
Child.
Yeah. Ted and I went and saw them at
Sean Paul.
the former Flashbacks.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Got up on stage. It was good.
Yeah.
Did you know?
It was just a bunch of tables put together.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna put a few bricks on the.
Mocha Only was there.
Yeah, you got old school. You got like Maestro Fresh West.
Yeah, Meister Fresh Rush is one of the OGs. Yeah, that's pretty much the entire list.
There's actually
Do
no
we
more.
count? Do we count John LaJoy because he's Canadian?
Yes.
Oh, he's got a new album coming out. That's
Yeah,
a good
talented-
plug.
What a talented dude.
Yeah.
Very.
I know he's an absolute idiot, but boy,
He's
he's
done
Like,
okay.
are we talking about Wolfie? Like Wolfie? Or are we talking
yeah,
about?
Wolfie.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Either way,
Yeah.
he's talented. I actually have an autographed check from him. So
Fun fact.
a former
Is that an autograph check or is that a signed check?
check. So I don't know
This
how much
is
this
for
how much this
check
can
out.
go.
Services
how much this can
rendered.
be shared, but it's for $3 on the top, like the dollar amount, like the numerical amount is $3. Pay to the order of hand job from John LaCroix. It's still in my nightstand. I've had that since when we lived in
Why is it
Victoria.
not framed?
I don't know. I don't want the kids to see it.
You got to just put it by the slide hockey table and just tell them that. You know,
It's
I don't actually know how you get away with
It's a
that. but
handshake.
It should still be
It's-
framed.
it's a handshake.
He's
Anyways.
a legend. He's a legend. Yeah, he's got a new album coming out. His last one was like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Which I own. It's great. Yeah, John LaJoie is funny. He is also
It's a kicker
one
year.
of the key characters of the league as Respin. Matt, this has been a ton of fun. I'm glad we finally were able to get you on the show and chat about home base and goaltending and Canadian rap history.
Yep.
As one would, this is pretty much the pinnacle of conversations, I believe.
There's only
Ryan,
three
are you a
things that matter.
bigger Nickelback fan or a $1.65?
That's a tough one. I am a bigger Nickelback fan, I will say. Yeah, I gotta stick to my guns on that one.
Like coffee or mocha only?
Coffee every day. Are you kidding me? I mean, a mocha latte maybe, but
Okay.
I wouldn't just have mocha only in there. I wasn't a big fan of Swollen Members. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm not a big fan of them. Yeah, this has been a lot of fun. Your backdrop obviously is impressive. You've got 4 empty shelves.
I had wood glue,
One of those you could put your check in, actually.
gate hinge thingy, a lock for gate, because I got to put that in, and then I don't know why I have this here
Are
still.
you just
I don't know.
retiring the clothes hanger? Why?
No, it's for our side gate. It goes open all the time. The next door neighbor dogs come into the backyard, and one of them's a wolf dog. So, although
Wolfie.
he's the nicest dog around.
No kidding.
Shout out to Mika.
Is it been a Jad?
Yeah.
Ted, I mean, you're just. I'm gonna be honest. You're looking pretty good today. I'm glad to have you back, especially as a full-time permanent guest. I think this is gonna work out really,
Contributing
really
member.
well.
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
said, I'll let you know.
Yeah, I feel like can grease the palms and maybe get you a few extra bucks to hang around. What do you think?
I
Think
like
we
it.
can do that?
Okay, thanks,
Any final words, Ted? Whoops.
Yeah, I just think we're gonna post some links. Maybe get some more donations to show up for KGH Foundation and mental health. Great
Mhm.
cause, great tournament coming up here. There's all sorts of stuff going on in town locally. Whether you're playing in the tournament or not, and I know that Matt's supposed to be pumping this thing too, but it really is a great
Supposed
event
to
and a
be.
really fun cause for somebody who doesn't have a ton of skin in the game. But I'm stoked to be there and stoked to be part of it.
That's gonna be awesome. Any hashtags we need to know about?
No.
Blessed.
Bless. Oh yeah, that's good given. No, just come down Friday if you can, 3 to 5. I'll be there. I'll have a cold beer waiting or kombucha if you want,
Nice.
and you'll get an extra high five if you said you heard about it on the PP1 podcast.
Oh man, 2 high fives. That is a deal.
Well, I didn't say how many the first would be.
No, you
Just
said an
an
extra. Oh, you're just
Oh.
assuming from 0 to 1 is an extra.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, that works out too. Everybody, this has been a lot of fun. This is the PP1 podcast. We are on the Hockey Podcast Network. DraftKings promo code THPN. Get yourself some deals. Make sure you follow us. Make sure you subscribe. Like, help us out. The more you do for us, the more we can help out everybody else. So go like and subscribe. Go to our YouTube page. Go to our Facebook, Instagram, which is probably where you're going to see most of our content. Wink. Just get out there. Go to the Hockey Podcast Network. Check out our stuff on there. And we're around. I got some cool T-shirts coming before the end of the summer or before the end of the month. I dabbled in some random one-offs, so we'll see some baseball-themed things, mainly because who doesn't like baseball apparel? So it's a lot of fun. PP1 Podcast, as I said before, Hockey Podcast Network, the Hockey Podcast Network, because the T is actually part of the logo. Matt Ferguson from OKGN. There's a lot of letters I have to say here for the home base tournament, KGH Foundation, Go Canucks Go, Vegas Golden Knights, Stanley Cup champions,